It is a historical.
It's a historical.
Whoa.
This 3,000 square foot house was constructed in territorial Minnesota beginning in 1855. The owner of the house was a U.S. Marshal and a successful merchant in town. Here's a photo of what the house looked like in the late 1800s. The house was completed in 1856, and 167 years later, we began to look for the old outhouse to find lost history. Okay, so we're on the back corner of the house, out by the shed here. And I think we have something right here. Near the back of the property line, we located a feature that we thought might be an outhouse. You can hear us discussing the abnormalities in the ground we felt with the probe.
Feels like there's a wall right in here. We're gonna see if this is a stone liner.
Or it's just blasted to the stone.
Or they just moved the rocks out of the way. You can't get through even up more than a couple inches.
In the case of privies like this, there's nothing to do but dig a test hole. So we opened up a 3x3 hole to see what was underneath. You can see us examining the dirt for shards and other artifacts. All right, so we've opened it up a little bit. There's some plastic and stuff on top. Chicken bone, hinges. But we're starting to get down to a different sort of layer. And there's brick coming out. And we got to widen this out too if it is.
There's a rock wall in there.
There's a rock wall right there.
Right in here.
Generally, for privies in Minnesota in the 1850s and 60s, you'll occasionally see a stone-lined outhouse. In this case, that's exactly what we had. After realizing this, we started widening out the hole. So there's a lot of newer stuff up top, but we're getting down to a layer. It's all 50s and 40s and junk like that. Getting down to a layer below this. I gotta clear this all out first, but right down here, salt glaze. There was a bunch of 1940s and 50s trash on the top layer of the outhouse, because as the hole sunk over the years, people would fill it in with random things. It was a good sign that we started to get shards from an older period. All right, so widen out the hole now. We're about 4 feet deep. And there's 1910 stuff starting under that. It's kept getting older as we go down, so hopefully it keeps going. Could be stone line. We haven't found all the walls yet, so we're still trying to figure that out. There was a giant cement piece of a clothing line in the hole, so we had to carefully dig around it and then use a pickaxe to break it up and remove it from the hole. The outhouse turned out to be about 5 by 3 feet wide, so we knew this thing was going to get deep and wet. We also had to remove a large pile of bricks and other debris because over the years they had been thrown in as fill. After all this labor, we did start finding more things like these license plates from the 1930s. We dug six license plates. I'm gonna get the dirt screen out soon. All these bricks, huge pile, and we got two people going at it right now. For holes of this size, you often need more people to dig, both for safety and time. Pretty soon, we started getting into artifacts from the late 1800s.
That transfer there. Wow, it's like a scroll on it.
I think we have more of that over there.
That is cool.
That could be 1850s. Not that it was thrown at that time, but
oftentimes dishes were used for long periods of time before finally being broken and thrown away, which is why we could find these 1850s artifacts in an 1890s layer. Based on the stuff we started finding, it was clear that we'd finally broken into the 1800s.
Look at that.
Yep.
Dave, look at it, we're getting older. That's 90s.
Embossed? Oh, it's embossed.
Is it? I didn't even see the embossing. What's it say?
Eddie and Eddie Flavoring Extract, St. Louis.
Oh, cool.
The first embossed bottle turned out to be an applied top flavoring extract bottle from St. Louis, Missouri. After finding this, we knew the finds would get much, much older and better.
Look at this. Look at this. Here's
That's the other half. No, that's
the other half of the mason.
You can also tell the hole started getting pretty deep at this point. Pharmacy bottles from the early 1880s started appearing, like this patent 1878 pharmacy bottle from St. Paul. All right, so we're down in the corner here. We got a coffin whiskey, bunch of those junk pill bottles we keep digging. Lots of good stuff. So we'll keep going. Take a video when we get out. At this point, the hole was starting to get muddy, but we continued finding bottles from the late 1870s and early 1880s, so we couldn't stop.
This is maybe 1880.
Yeah,
nice find.
That's a neat find.
Right after that pharmacy came out, we spotted an embossed whiskey in the wall of the outhouse.
Wild and Son or something? Guys, there's an embossed whiskey coming out. It's a whiskey, remember I told you?
So boss means it has
Minneapolis.
form of a name on it.
It might be. No, it's Weil and Sons.
Got nothing on it. It's just a plain name.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
Oh, Isaac Weil and Sons, Minneapolis.
While this is a common version of a Minneapolis whiskey, there are hundreds of different variants and manufacturers from this city. Right after that, we spotted an embossed pharmacy bottle in the corner of the outhouse.
We found probably 50 of those.
You can see there was quite a bit of mud caking my boots, but this is nothing compared to what we would get into.
Don't use your bare hands, dude. What is it?
For all the people commenting on my TikToks telling me to use gloves, there you go. I have people warning me about it when they dig with me.
Show it to the camera here. Wow, that is a cool bottle.
How did it come this far?
Petersburg, Illinois. Wow. Right here.
Would you look at it?
Look. It is a historical.
It's a historical.
Whoa.
Hold on, Dave. Don't dig out. It's on video.
Wet. Here it comes. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a slick.
Slick quart
What?
70s whiskey.
What? Or 60s.
Or 60s. What's the bottom?
L&W.
I didn't get a close-up of that bottle we just found, but I did get a video of another whiskey flask we found right below it. At this point, the mud started getting a little bit crazy. The mud was so deep that I almost had to take my boots off to get out of the hole.
So it's just digging in the muck. Well, there's just stuff that comes out.
Yeah, I know.
The last find of the day was an 1860s Dr. Sanford's Liver Invigorator bottle. This hole had clearly been cleaned out over the years, but overall there were a couple hundred bottles that told us more about the people that once lived there. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you want to see more, leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments what you want to see more of.